So today we're going to be doing a man's shirt, simple man's shirt, okay? Because if you look at this diagram, this is a simple short sleeve shirt. We're going to be concentrating on the button plackets, the color stand, which is this one, and the color itself. Okay, let me explain. So, observing this man's shirt, if you notice, the buttons are on the right. Okay, they're attached to the button placket on the right. And this button placket, it's just this rectangular panel here where you place the buttons, and it becomes like reinforcement for placing these buttons. So here, if when it's unbuttoned, like here on the top at the top, you see that it's on the right, and this is important to know. Now the buttonholes are on the left. So there again, observe carefully. You see they are on the left. So there is a left, they're on a left placket. They're on that left rectangular panel. Now, if you look carefully at the color here, you'll see that it consists of two parts. First, the color stand, which is maybe it's not too easy to understand, but let's say it begins, you see where this seam is here? It begins here, the color stand. It begins here, it's over here too, and it goes all the way around. And the color itself sits on it, so it's attached to it. Okay, now this color stand has, in this one here, because there are many different styles, this one has this is a classic, it has a button, and here on the other side of the color stand here we have a buttonhole. So that when we're doing and drawing out our pattern, we have to put one here so that we can button the shirt here at the top, and we have to place it on this color stand here. So remember, this color stand goes all the way around, and this is placed on top of it. Okay, so that's it for now. Let's begin drawing our simple man's shirt. So we're gonna begin the pattern here. You can draw the pattern. For example, in the previous video chapters, you've seen how to draw out patterns. Or in my case here, I'm going to use a pre-existing garment. That is, would be like some sort of a t-shirt. And from there, we'll take it because of time constraints. So I'd like, let's see, I want to just a regular t-shirt. And so let's see, back to, oh, here it is. Yes, the regular t-shirt. I didn't want a sweatshirt or anything else, but just this male t-shirt, and that's good enough for me. So I'm gonna double click on this, and I'm going to uh here where it's load type, I'm just gonna add it to the project. Okay, and let's get out of there. Okay, so here he has it. We just have to simulate, and here it is. So here we're gonna begin doing some modifications because it's also good for you to know how to do modifications from existing garments. Now, we're gonna take this here, this facing here, we're gonna just get rid of it. And what we can do is we can also, you see the way the neckline is, we need it to be closer, to be hugging the neck a little better. So there we do have to do some modifications. So here we're going to begin with our edit arc tool. Let's see, edit arc or edit curve, depends. Let's see, let's begin, then we'll see what comes of it. So here, okay, no, let's see our edit pattern tool. Gonna bring it up a bit like this. You can hold on shift if you need to be more precise. Okay, like that. So we're bringing it up, but it's still weird looking. And we need it up. We'll bring it up a little bit more like that. And here we're gonna have to do something with this. So what you can do is you can right click on the point and you could just delete it. If you delete it, you see you get that straight line. So we can do that with the back. In the meanwhile, we just take the point, we hold on shift, use those guidelines to help you bring things up. Okay, we bring it up like that. And then we right click and we delete the point. So now if we simulate, we see that it's really hugging his neck. It's much better, okay? Now, we have, of course, we still have a few adjustments to do. So let's take a look at this part here, because all this you have to consider when then you're drawing it from scratch. So when you're drawing it from scratch, you take a look at it and then you're like, okay, well, I have to prepare the neckline for a shirt, so I might as well begin doing these adjustments. Now here, I think it's just too far away here. It's too much space. So what we can do is we can just manipulate, make note these the points here. Let's go and select some points here. Okay, like this part here, the shoulder, where you start here, from the top of the shoulder line, and apply symmetry. Okay, so to apply symmetry, because when I brought it in, there was some symmetry, and because I moved the points, as symmetry was erased. Let's apply symmetry. So what you do is we're gonna go to the add a point tool. We get the midpoint here, okay? Midpoint, and we can just double check by doing a uniform split, okay? Just as you've learned in the previous video lessons. And okay, so here I have this midpoint. And then I can also, here we have the midpoint already. We can just double check with the edit pattern tool, 24.75, 24.75. So here we have the midpoint, and here we can go, we can just draw a line like this with a pen tool, double click, and here we have our line. We go back to the edit pattern tool and we're gonna split it, okay? We're gonna do the right click, cut and sew. Now we right click, cut and sew. We're going to go to our move tool and we click on this, hold on shift, click on this, right click, and we apply a symmetry. Okay, so we have applied symmetry to this. And so whatever happens here, it's going to happen here. Okay, we can do that to the other one, but I'm going to show you another way of doing this. Now, you see this line, note this line here. And this line, it's like a baseline. And this line, when I brought in the garment, you saw that it was all with it was all highlighted, okay, with the broken dashes, that is, okay, and meaning that there was a symmetry axis here, okay, symmetry was applied, and then I did all this stuff and I just destroyed the symmetry. Now, another way to use this line here is to go up here to our toolbar, click on the trace tool, and you see what happens. You click on the trace tool, and here it's automatically highlighted. So this trace tool now has transformed this line into, it can become an internal line. You see, it's activated. Okay, we went up there, we clicked on it. First, it's nothing, and all of a sudden, we hover over it and it's highlighted. So what you do then is you right click and you'll see the dialog box comes up, the options to convert to internal line, which is what concerns us. Okay, so this, just concentrate on this for now. Of course, you can do many things. You see, you can cut and sew, but just let's convert to internal line. We click on it, and here we have it. We have our internal line. Now you may say, oh, but it's not really reaching the pattern outline. Okay, this you understand what to do. If it doesn't reach the pattern outline, you go to your edit pattern tool, you right click, and you select extend trim and add point to outline. Click on it, and there it's done. So this is another way you can use the trace tool, okay, with the baselines, and these baselines are just guidelines, okay. Now we want this cut and sew, so we right click and we do our cut and sew again. Now we want to apply symmetry, okay, so what we do on one would affect the other, and we want to do it, I'm doing it for convenience, and you'll see why, because it's useful, because I need to do some adjustments around here. Get our select move tool now. You left click on this, hold on shift, click again, right click, apply symmetry. Okay, so there, everything symmetrized at this point the way we like it. So now that we have the symmetry and everything added, now we can do some adjustments. Now, okay, let's take the front pattern here. We can take our edit pattern tool, and maybe if you think it's just too high up, you can just take this little point here and we just lower it a bit like that. And that's maybe good enough. We simulate. Okay, we can even lower it some more. Okay, let's, okay, we've lowered the wrong part. So let's go again. We need the front pattern. So, okay, we lowered the back. Okay, we'll check that out. Let's check the front. So the front, we go to the edit pattern tool. There we go again. And we lower it a bit. We can hold on shift or we could just do it like that manually. And let's simulate. And it's lowered, but maybe you can't really you can hardly see it. Now we take off the simulation, and what we need, as we said in the beginning, we needed just here, just like maybe up to, I would say up to here. Okay, we just want to move these points a bit. So we go to the select move tool and we try to understand exactly where we want this moved. Okay, so this corresponds to this part, okay? So at least when I move this point, this one moves at the same time. But remember, if I do this on the front pattern, I need to do it on the back pattern too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the edit pattern tool, click on the point, hold down shift, click on this point too. And now I'm going to move them a bit. Okay, gonna maybe let's bring him a little closer. You can see better. Okay, I'll move them like that. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna simulate. Okay, so